Welcome back to another tutorial. For today I have a small mini canvas. I have a makeup blending brush, a long flat brush, a cat tongue brush, a liner brush, a dagger brush. Colours I have Payne's grey, Hooker's green, buff titanium, deep gold and Quinacridone Magenta. A jar of water as a spray bottle, some kind of cloth to be able to dry our brushes on. We're going to start as we always do by spraying our canvas like so. Then grabbing my long flat brush, I'm going to start by putting down the titanium white, the buff titanium. And I just really want this to be in there. I want this painting to be quite moody. I want it to have some texture. Oh, you also need a palette knife for the final touches. Okay, so I'm going to kind of put those there. Then with the Hooker's green, I'm going to take the Hooker's green and I'm going to add a bit of Payne's grey to it. This is just to turn it into a bit of a moodier green. Now you don't need to put a lot down here because this is going to be very, very opaque. So just lightly spray. We're not going to get any harsh streaks. Okay, I'm going to take some of the Payne's grey and dot that around as well. Alright, now grabbing the makeup blending brush, I'm just going to start dabbing wherever there was buff titanium, and it's going to slowly start incorporating this green. Don't worry about that first layer, it can look a bit rough. Absolutely fine. Okay, I'm going to take my cloth, rub off that excess, grab some more buff titanium, and I'm going to work in some more of that colour into there. Lightly spray. And just going over. Now going in with the brush again. Starting off in the lighter areas. And then going on top into those darker areas. Just making sure to remove any excess paint on my brush. I can go over these areas here. And then we can go over, add some green. Okay. Going in, I'm going to start using my brush to go almost in an up and down motion, just to create a sort of like so. And then doing the same. Kind of like this effect. And then here, where we've got this lighter colour, go back in with the buff titanium. And we're going to also go in and then okay, that is looking lovely. Just going to do some more of that buff titanium, making sure that I'm using my long flat brush to do this part. I'm just getting in there. Okay. Then using the brush to create these strokes, and then going back and forth, and I'm going to go in with some of that green, picking up some of that green, some of that Payne's grey, just so we get a nice strong colour. Okay, now going in and slowly bringing that down. Okay. Just playing around with the colours. All right, I'm quite happy with that. I like how this looks now. Swap brushes. I'm going to go with my liner brush. And now grabbing that mix of green, we're going to kind of add these really strong prominent lines here. Just kind of doing, and then from the top I'm going to kind of do these squiggly lines. It feels like a spooky painting. I love it. I'm getting witchy vibes from this, and I'm not mad about that at all. I'm just going to do those lines coming down. Okay. All right, I'm going to keep going. All right, I don't want to do too much. Do want to let the background take over. So now grabbing my cat tongue brush, I'm going to grab some of that Hooker's green and some titanium white. And I'm going to add a few few petals to that top part. Don't want to do too much, so only going to do a little bit. I think I'm going to stop there. I think that's enough, and can add just a few petals kind of coming down as if they're falling, like so. Okay, now that's done. Grabbing the dagger brush, I'm going to take some Hocus Green and I'm going to dip that into some of the gold, and I'm going to come and add that over here, just to add this iridescence to some, and then you can also do some gold and green. Okay, I think that's enough. And then lastly, I'm going to be grabbing the Quinacridone Magenta and some of that buff titanium, and I'm going to be doing little taps with my palette knife. I'm doing these little florals. Okay, so trying to get those two colors through, so trying to get the Quinacridone Magenta and the buff titanium. So picking them both up on my brush and just kind of adding to the bottom half of the painting. I think that is looking gorgeous. Absolutely love that. I'm going to go over with some dark pink just to add some contrast. But these flowers, this is why I love painting flowers in a more kind of abstract way, because I just think it looks so much more interesting to the eye to have a flower that is imperfect but gives the suggestion but isn't actually a flower in itself. Okay, I'm really happy with that. So the last thing I'm going to do is grab my liner brush, grab my green and Payne's grey mix, and I'm going to add stems to these flowers. Not all of them, just some. Okay. I think I'm going to grab my cat tongue brush and get some of that gold. If you enjoyed today's tutorial, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you enjoyed. Be sure to put your notifications on because I post new videos every Tuesdays and Fridays.